Hello students, this is Mohammad Raul again with you with the topic literary devices. Previously we have done the topic literary terms. Now we have the topic literary devices. I have already told you about the difference between the literary terms and literary devices. Let me introduce you once again. So we have two things here, literary devices and literary terms. So the difference between devices and terms. Devices are to devise the literary form. Like if we devise our poem, our fiction and things, that is called device. But the terms is equal to form. You can write it like form, literary form. If we go for poems, we are in the form of sonnet, ode, lyric, epic, ballad, verse, narrative, etc. etc. So these are the forms. But meanwhile in the poem, when we use devices like simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, and alliteration, repetition, oxymoron, epithet, antithesis, and all these things are called devices. So these are the difference between devices and terms. Don't get confused in these two words. Let's forget the literary, just use devices and form. Literary form and literary devices. We call it figure of speech. The second name of literary devices, we can say it figure of speech. So, figure of speech. Let's introduce you with the number one, that is called simile. Number one is simile. Simile is the first figure of speech. Let me define you with the definition you have in your PDF. A figure of speech is a word or phrase that possesses a separate meaning from its literal definition. Like figure of speech एक ऐसा वर्ड है जिसकी जो डेफिनेशन है, जिसका मीन जो है वो उसकी लिटरेचर की डेफिनेशन से काफ़ी अलग होता है. It can be a metaphor or simile or designed to make a comparison. Like there are two types, simile and metaphor are to for comparison, but to compare the dissimilar thing. It is used to compare dissimilar thing. It can be repetition, alliteration, exaggeration or hyperbole to provide a dramatic. These are the various kinds of literary devices, as well as we call them figure of speech. So let's move further. The first one is simile. Simile means to similarity, similize karna, like comparison. If we compare two dissimilar things in an alignment, thoughts and ideas, that is called simile. For example, a simile is a figure of speech that compares two different things in an interesting way. Interesting way. Like why we use devices, why we use speeches, figure of speech. मीन्स उसको फिगरेटिवनेस देना, खूबसूरती देना, इन चीज़ों के लिए हम क्या यूज़ करते हैं, हमारे डिवाइसेस. तो इन डिवाइसेस को यूज़ करने के लिए ही हम विट का यूज़ करते हैं और इन्हीं के यूज़ से हम अपनी पोइट्री को, प्रोस को, इन सेक्शंस को क्या बनाते हैं, पब्लिकेटेड एंड इफेक्टिव. So the object of a simile to spark an interesting connection in a reader or listener's mind. Means simile use करने के दौरान, simile use करते हुए, we just create an interesting fact in reader's mind or listener's mind. A simile is one of the most common form of figurative language. It is a common form because mostly poet uses it very simply because it is a simple literary device. So example, I can use here 2-3 example, and I have given you 5 example in the PDF to take down the simile, to summarize the simile. The first one we have, you are brave as a lion. You are brave as a lion. So, and we can write another one, he is as strong as an ox. So we have here two examples. So you can see the first one is you are brave as a lion and he is as strong as an ox. Now the thing is in your mind that why I underlined as and as. So remember one thing, simile compare to different things using as or like. Like simile, what does simile use? Like or as. It means कि उसके जैसा है. It actually means कि उसके जैसा है. So you are brave as a lion, he is as strong as an ox. If we use a like thing, they fought like cats and dogs. They fought like cats and so I underline like here because these words, these two words are used to make a comparison and use the term device simile. मतलब कि like और as का यूज करके कंपेयर करना, उसके जैसा बताना is called simile. I hope simile is clear to you. The definition is written in your PDF. You can take it down. So this is the simile. Using like or as, we make a difference, a comparison between two dissimilar. Let's move further to the next. So I kept it written here like or as. You can take a thing. The next thing is metaphor. The next literary device we have is metaphor. Metaphor is also a literary device like simile. If we are using like, then we will like simile. But it is somehow different in just like or as. Like इसे हम ये कहेंगे कि जब हम किसी को किसी के जैसा बताते हैं तो that is called simile. लेकिन जब उसके ऊपर पूरी तरह से थोप देते हैं कि तुम वही हो, like in our language कि गधों जैसी बातें मत कर कहते हैं, so that is similing. Okay? And when we actually imply the thing donkey, you are a donkey, तुम एक गधे हो, so that is a metaphor. I hope you understand the difference between the simile and the metaphor. So let me show you some example. The snow is a white blanket and the famous one, all the word stage. Then I was an ice cube. So we have three examples here, three different type of example of the metaphor. The snow is a white blanket. कि बर्फ जो है वो एक white blanket है. Two dissimilar thing, the things are snow and the blanket. Two dissimilar thing, इन दोनों का कोई मेल नहीं है आपस में, but to compare them without using like or as. पर इन दोनों को क्या किया गया? Comparison दिया गया, एक दूसरे का रूप दिया गया. So that is metaphor. Metaphor for you. But remember one thing, when we compare using the like or as, that is called simile. But we compared dissimilar things, take them qualities, that is called metaphor, but without like or as. The next, the famous line from the Shakespearean sonnet, all the world is a stage, सारी दुनिया एक stage है. So that is a famous line कि शेक्सपियर ने ऐसा नहीं कहा कि all the world is like a stage. If he say like a stage, then it would be a simile. But he already implied it as stage कि all the world is a stage. So that is a metaphor. I was an ice, मैं बर्फ था, to see you, तुम्हें देखकर. Like कहते हैं ना, तुम्हें देख के मैं जम गया. Like you are looking so beautiful. I was an ice to see you. तुम्हें देखकर मैं वहीं का वहीं रह गया. So that is a metaphor. I am a human, not an ice, but I used a beautiful metaphor. I was an ice too. So this is metaphor without using like or as. We can compare to dissimilar thing. We can prove comparatives. That is called metaphor. Let's move further. And let me remind you, in your syllabus there are 9 types of literary devices. The third one we have is alliteration. Third one we have is alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration means repeating of a singular consonant in the first letter. Like if you say simile, metaphor and alliteration, these are the words. What are these? These are the words. शब्द हैं ये, लेकिन अक्षर पहला syllable किसको बोलेंगे? A, first syllable, M, S. So these are syllables. These are the syllables for the complete word. So repetition of a consonant sound of the first syllable is called alliteration. Let me read definition for you once. Alliteration happen when words that start with the same sound, not just the same letter, same sound, are used repeatedly in a phrase or sentence. The sound is usually a consonant and the words don't have to be right next to one another. Note that the alliteration does not depend on letters but on sound. So kim came is alliteration. Kim came means kim came. Don't go for the words. Kim came. Words are different. A, C, but the sound is same. Kim came. So the making a sound repetition is called alliteration. Rather, its words are not, syllables are not the same. Let me show you some examples of alliteration. So first one we have shut the shutter before banging sound. Shut the shutter before banging sound. Next one we have please put away your paints and practice the prize. Please so these are the two examples for all of us here for the alliteration. Like you can see shut, shutter, sound. Okay. So B and B before banging. You can see two alliteration in a single sentence. Shut. If you don't go for sound, you can go for the syllables like S, S, B, B, S. So this is called alliteration. B, B, S. We can see Bharti. So shut, shut before banging sound. And the next one we have please put away your pens and practice. Like you can see the P is repeating P, P and P. Please put away your pens and practice. So this is alliteration for you. I hope you understand this, that the first syllable or the first syllable sound came to the same repetition, that is called alliteration. The definition is in your PDF. You can watch it out. So here we go for the next one, that is called onomatopoeia. So next one we have is onomatopoeia. If you read it, you are actually devastated with the sound. आपको sound से problem हो रही होगी. तो अगर आपको sound से problem हो रही है, that is a perfect thing. Pronunciation में problem हो रही है, तो ये आपके लिए एक अच्छी बात है, क्योंकि मैं आपको बता दूं कि onomatopoeia is a figure of speech of sound. ये sound का ही figure of speech है. नहीं समझे? Let me tell you that how. Let me read you once. In English language, the term onomatopoeia means the imitation of sound. Imitation of sound, like knuckle. Imitation means knuckle. The compound word onomatopoeia is a Greek language, means making or creating names for words that imitate sound. Means कि हम ह्यूमन लोग बोलते हैं, वी से, वी टेल्स एक्चुअली द थिंग, बट व्हाट अबाउट द एनिमल्स, द थिंग्स एंड ऑल द थिंग्स? Wind blows, you know, wind blows, clatter, neighing, buzzing, hiss, that all are the sound. When we write the sound, actually, what does a cat do? Meow, meow. That is actually an onomatopoeia. Yeah. What sound does a bee creates? Hum. That humming is onomatopoeia. Buzzing is onomatopoeia. So that is onomatopoeia for us. For example, the name of the sound. The buzzing bees. The buzzing bees fly away. So the buzzing, that is the sound of the bees. Buzzing is the sound of the bees. So that is underlined here. Next, he looked at the roaring. The lion roared hard. So roaring, दहाड़ना, ये साउंड है, हम उसकी आवाज को क्या बोलते हैं? दहाड़ना. So that is a sound. Next देखिए, the rustling leaves. Rustling मतलब सरसराहट, पत्तों की सरसराहट. It is for us. पत्तों की सरसराहट की आवाज को हम क्या कहते हैं? Rustling. So that is actually an onomatopoeia for all of us. I hope you understand the name of the sound. The imitation of the sound is called onomatopoeia. Let's move further to the next one. We have the next literary device of our syllabus, the fifth one. It is personification. What is this? Personification. Now, if you want to understand the name, then divide it. Divide it in person. The first term we have is person and fication. Personification, like personified करना. Okay, किसी को. Personification is a figure of speech which an idea or thing is given human attributes or feeling or is spoken of it as a human. Like what do I want to say? Get me clear? किसी भी चीज को, like we have the marker. We have a marker here. It is an inanimate thing. It is a non-human thing. But if I attribute it with the human quality, like if I say it is walking on the whiteboard, it is walking smoothly on the whiteboard, but walking is not its quality, not its attribute. It is a human attribution, human quality, which is given to an inhuman thing, that is called personification. Giving human qualities to inhuman things are personification. Do you get it? So let me show you with some example. So I like onions, but they don't like me. I like onions, but they don't. We take another one. My phone is not cooperating with me today. We have two examples here. I like onions, but they don't. So in this example, you can see that we have used they for the onions. That but don't means they don't like. So to like is a human thing, but we give this attribution to the onion. So it becomes personification. We personified the onions. Next, my phone is not cooperating with me today. मेरा फ़ोन मेरे साथ आज कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहा है. सो बीइंग कोऑपरेटिव is not a phone thing, it is a human thing, it is a human quality, human attribution, but we have given it to the phone. So that is called, my dear, personification. I hope you understand the personification. If you are not getting it right now, then you have the PDF note in your file book. You can take it down, you can write it down, you can ask me the question in your comments. So next we have oxymoron. So next we have oxymoron. What is oxymoron for you? Oxymoron is a kind of figure of speech when two dissimilar things are attached in a single word. It means, let me tell you in the clear words, like जब दो ना होने वाली चीजों को एक साथ मिलाकर वर्ड बनाया जाता है, that is called oxymoron. Like if we say intelligent donkey. Can you really imagine this? Intelligent donkey? No, I am sure you are not. कि बुद्धिमान गधा. Could it be happen? Yes or no? No, could not be. So this is called oxymoron. If we say bitter sweets, कड़वी मिठाइयाँ, is it possible? No. Then this is called oxymoron. Let me read once the definition for you. A paradox is a statement. Paradox means विरोधाभास. जब दोनों क्या होती हैं, opposite to one, that appears at the first to contradictory, but ये क्या दिखाई देती है हमें, विरोधाभासी, contradictory, but upon reflect then makes sense, but it makes actually sense. This literary device is commonly used to engage a reader to discover underlying logic. लॉजिक ढूंढने के लिए इस तरह के स्टेटमेंट्स का यूज किया जाता है. लाइक इफ वी से फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेस इज मोर, एंड इफ वी से द एंडिंग इज द बिगिनिंग. Less is more, the ending is the beginning. Here are the two examples of oxymoron. You can see the two contradictory things, less and more, in a single statement. The ending is the beginning. This is a single statement. But these both contradict to each other, and that becomes oxymoron. Hope you are clear with that. Next we have, after the oxymoron, we have euphemism. So euphemism is a term. It is a term. I have told you about the literary history. In the literary history, there was a writer, I don't remember his name, maybe it was Thomas Gray or Thomas Hardy, I don't remember it actually. Euphemism was a book. Maybe writer was the Philip Sidney or Edmund Spencer or Christopher Marlowe, and I don't remember the name, John Dryden or Webster. I'm not sure about the name of the writer, but I know about the term euphemism. What is euphemism? It was actually a book where everything is at good quality, where everything is very nice. What is euphemism? It is a term when actually we want to say something negative but in a positive way. For example, I say you, just I want to tell you that I'm not going with you. So this is a clear thing, this is a direct thing. Maybe the person, maybe you will get angry, maybe you will get disturbed by this statement, but I say I wish I could go with you. So these are the same statement, that same meaning कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ नहीं जा सकता, but two different ways. The one way is that I am not coming with you, मैं नहीं जा रहा हूँ, and the second is काश मैं तुम्हारे साथ जा सकता. So this is the thing, euphemism, like किसी चीज को अच्छे तरीके से बोलना. Euphemism is a figure of speech commonly used to replace a word or phrase that is related to a concept which might take other uncomfortable. मतलब किसी दूसरे को uncomfortable ना करते हुए इस वे को बोलना, it is called euphemism. Like if I am unemployed, if I am not at a job, then I'll say between jobs, using the word between jobs means unemployed. Did you get what I'm saying? If I say I am unemployed, like कि मैं बेरोजगार हूँ, so I would say between jobs. I am between jobs nowadays. So this is called euphemism. Like if we want to say someone that he or she is heavy, fat, so we'll say you became big bone. You become big bones. So what does it mean? Heavy weight. So these are the euphemisms we actually use in our lives, but we actually don't consider it. जैसे कि अगर हमारा कोई फ्रेंड काफ़ी मोटा हो रहा है तो हम उसे क्या बोलते हैं? ये बोलते हैं काफ़ी मोटा हो रहा है। और अगर इसी चीज़ को हम अच्छे से बोलना चाहते हैं तो हम क्या बोलते हैं कि आजकल लगता है कुछ हेल्दी खा रहा है. So that is called euphemism. I hope it is clear for you. Eighth one we have is epithet. What is epithet? Let me read definition for you. Epithet is a descriptive literary device that describe a place, thing or person such a way that it helps in making characteristic more prominent they actually are. Also it is known as by name or descriptive title. लाइक एपिथेट क्या है कि किसी चीज़ को इस तरह से लिख के दर्शाना या दिखाना ताकि हम उसे अच्छी तरह जान पाएँ, उसकी क्वालिटीज़ को जान पाएँ विद बाय नेम. One can find many examples of epithet made with Shakespeare's own coinages in Shakespeare 1, thou mad musted purple-hued maltworm. Thou mad mustachio is called purple-hued maltworms. So what is this? It is actually from Henry IV, a book from Shakespeare. Thou mad mustachio means आपकी जो मूछें हैं purple hued maltworms, ऐसे लगता है जिन पर पर्पल कलर किया गया हो. If he tells us about a character, like if we are actually getting to know about a character, like वो पर्पल मूछ वाला, like हम बना लेते हैं ना, जैसे हम किसी स्कूल में होते हैं and we actually describe a teacher very distinctly. Like अगर कोई टीचर स्पेक्स पहनते हैं तो हम उसे कहते हैं चश्मे वाले सर. So that is like बचपन में क्या करते थे इंग्लिश वाले सर. So that is an epithet. उनकी क्वालिटीज़ को उनके नेम के साथ एडेप्ट करना और एक अच्छा कैरेक्टराइजेशन देना क्या कहलाता है? epithet. Death lies on her like ultimately frost upon the sweetest flower of all the field. रोमियो एंड जूलियट का ये डायलॉग है जो शेक्सपियर ने लिखा था. आपको पीडीएफ नोट में ये दे दिया जाएगा. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड द epithet वेरी वेल. Let's go to the last but not the least. Wait a minute. Sorry, the marker was down. So it is called antithesis. So the last one we have is antithesis. So antithesis is which literally means opposite. It actually literally means opposite is a rhetorical device which two opposite ideas are put together in a sentence to achieve a contrasting effect. Antithesis emphasizes the idea of contrast by parallel structure of contrast phrases or clauses. The structure of phrases clauses are similar in order to draw attention to the listener or readers. So it is what like two dissimilar ideas are put in a single line. Two dissimilar ideas, not the words, because it is not oxymoron. You must get confused between oxymoron and antithesis. Two different ideas are put in a single line or single paragraph, that is called antithesis. Like for example, give every man thy ear but few thy voice. So we have an example here. Give every man thy ears but few thy voice. मतलब सबको अपने कान दो, like सबकी सुनो, but few thy voice, पर कहो. तो एक तरफ तो every man and दूसरी तरफ few man. So these are the two different ideas put in a single line, that is called antithesis. Let's move to another example, like love is an ideal thing, okay, and comma, marriage is a realistic thing. So two dissimilar ideas are put in a single line, like love is an ideal thing. Ideal it's. So love is an ideal thing, but marriage is a realistic thing. So we have two ideas, ideal and realistic. आदर्शवादी और यथार्थवादी, इन दो फैक्ट्स को, इन दो भावनाओं को एक ही लाइन में कंट्रास्ट किया गया, दैट इज कॉल्ड. So we have read the topic literary devices, aka we called its figure of speech. We have learned about the simile using like or as, metaphor, a dissimilar thing comparison without using like or as, alliteration, to repeat the first consonant or the sound of first consonant is called alliteration. Onomatopoeia, the name of the sound, like the snake hiss and the buzz bees, the horse neighs, that is the onomatopoeia. Personification, when we actually personified human attribution to non-human things, like sun stretched arms to hug me, सूरज ने मुझे बाहों में लेने के लिए बाहें फैलाई. So this is not possible, this is human thing. बाहें फैलाना, hug करना is a human thing, but it has been given to the sun, so that is called personification. Next we have oxymoron, when two dissimilar things are combined to make a reflection, that is called oxymoron. Euphemism, that is called to say the things in gentle way. जब हम gentle way में कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, the thing is bad for us, but not to make the person disappointed, we use the term euphemism. Next we have epithet, and at last we did antithesis. Epithet is a literary device where we actually personified a person with his qualities and attribution, like सफेद मूंछों वाले सर. So that is his attribution. We recognize his name and his qualities and everything. Last we had antithesis, when two different ideas are combined in a single line. When two words, dissimilar words are combined, that is oxymoron. When two dissimilar ideas are combined in a single line to make a sense, that is called antithesis. Hope you like the lecture, and I wish you have learned all of the 9 here. This is Mohammed Raul. Thank you.